So hello from Malta. My name is Roderick. I am the CEO of immVest International Limited and also the CEO of a company which is called immVest Properties Limited. So I run basically two companies. But today we're going to speak about the Residency by Investment Program, the Malta one, as well as the Residency to Citizenship, the Maltese Citizenship. Both programs requiring the property element. So without investing in renting of property or outright purchasing of property, one doesn't become eligible for either of the program. As you can see, this is in Malta, first and foremost, to promote certain programs, you have to become an accredited agent. So no one can wake up in the morning and say, I want to promote and sell the Malta Permanent Residency Program or the Residency to Citizenship Program. It doesn't work like that. There are two different agencies that handle the programs. So there is the Residency Malta Agency, the agency which handles the Malta Permanent Residence Program. And then there is Comunità Malta, which is the agency that handles applications related to citizenship. If I go back a minute, you will see that there is a license number, which is accredited agent, AKM, IMMV21. That signifies that immVest International is approved by the government of Malta to promote and sell the programs internationally. Without that license, a company, an agency is not authorized to promote such programs. Of course, one will understand that in order to acquire that license, you have to pass certain certifications and certain assessments, such as the government will perform a due diligence on your entity, on the people running the agency, so on and so forth. Once approved, you will be an accredited agent. So in order to move forward, so my idea today, many of you most probably already know the sunny island of Malta. It's a small island in the Mediterranean Sea, close to Sicily. We don't form part of Italy, so we are independent. It's actually three islands. There's the Maltese island, the Malta island, there's the Gozo island, and then as well, there's what we call the Camul island, one or two people living on this island. Total population for Malta is over and above approximately 450,000 people. So a very, very small island. A lot of pluses, it's almost, summer throughout the entire year, very, 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 very reasonable cost of living, so on and so forth. So what happened? The government of Malta has introduced these two programs. The first program, which is the Residency to Citizenship, provides an opportunity for investors, ultra high net worth and high net worth, to acquire the Maltese citizenship so that they will become European citizens, of course. And the other one, the Malta Permanent Residence Program, provides an opportunity to prospective beneficiaries that they can reside indefinitely, permanently on the Maltese islands. If we go forward, of course, some benefits of the Malta Islands, our membership in the European Union, safety, security. We have actually two national languages, the English language and the Maltese language. And they always say to prospective applicants and investors that if you want to learn the English language, Malta is the right place because it is also a national language. Sunny weather, crystal blue sea, Mediterranean Sea, the very reasonable cost of living, quality of life. Of course, Malta has a government elected by the people, very strong economy, The educational systems, I mean, Malta follows the British curriculum. We have very high-level academic institutions, and many investors, in fact, choose Malta because they either have children, they have teens who want to continue their studies, and of course, to develop their English abilities. But the benefits of the Malta Permanent Residence Program. So now we're going to focus on that program that provides beneficiaries the opportunity to settle in Malta indefinitely. So one can decide to stay for good in Malta or Gozo, as well as it provides access to the Schengen zone, the European Schengen zone, 6 months in every 12 months. So once you become a resident of Malta, once you are provided the residency cards, you automatically have access as well to the Schengen zone. The Malta Permanent Residence Program is a very popular program. There are thousands of people who have already applied from all over the world and have been approved. And as always, I say that the Malta programs are very tough when it comes to due diligence. They are very straightforward programs, both the MPRP program and the Residency Citizenship program. But of course, there is an element of due diligence that needs to be performed in line with AML law when, of course, reviewing the background of certain applicants. So, as I was saying earlier, it is a permanent residency program. It provides access to the Schengen zone. It is a quick process, 6 to 8 months, so, and sometimes even before. So one prepares the application pack of the client. It is submitted to the Residency Malta Agency for the Residency Malta Agency to review and approve or reject the application. It's normally between 5 to 7 months. I said 6 to 8, that's to take a discrete measurement. A very straightforward process. The Malta Permanent Residence Program was launched in 2016, and it has a very robust legal framework. And its application fee, the application fee is relatively not expensive when compared with other equally good programs. There is no minimum stay requirement. Of course, parents-in-law and grandparents can also apply. Case processing has to be done, as I said at the beginning, through an accredited agent, and there is no capping. Unlike the Residency Citizenship program, where there is a capping of 400 applications, 400 cases per year over a period of 3 years for a total of 1,500 applications. The Malta Permanent Residence Program doesn't have a capping. So far, it does not have a capping, at least. So, as I said earlier, first and foremost, the property business in Malta is very popular. It is very lucrative to invest in property in Malta. Given that the island is so big, people investing in property have a yield, at least a percentage yield of approximately 5 to 7% per year. So if many foreigners, many investors, not necessarily on the Malta Permanent Residence Program or the Residency Citizenship Program, but others as well are coming to Malta and they're investing into property. They buy property, they purchase property in what we call special designated areas. Of course, anyone wishing to acquire more information, I'll be happy to provide, to attend to all the inquiries that may be raised. So let's look at the eligibility. Non-Europeans can apply. There's a strict KYC and due diligence. So Invest International, from our side, prior to onboarding anyone, we, of course, perform a know your customer, as well as we perform other checks, adverse media checks, blacklisting checks, and other important checks. Once the potential applicant satisfies our due diligence criteria, the applicant, together with his family, is onboarded for any of the two programs. So it's either for MPRP, for the residency, or for the citizenship. We had occasions where when we performed the due diligence, given the results and the findings, I had to take a decision whereby not to approve the application of certain people who were eager to apply for any of the Maltese programs. The eligibility criteria, when it comes to the investment, the eligibility criteria, anyone applying for the program must be in possession of a capital of at least 500,000 euro. This 502,000 euro is to be, it's normally composed of 350,000 in assets, so property, and 150,000 liquidity at the bank or other financial tools such as stocks and other investments. So, as I said earlier, both programs depend on property. So you can imagine with all these applications, there was a boost in the market and the property market in Malta. There are a lot of investments, there are a lot of opportunities for investors to invest, to put their money into property in Malta, especially on certain projects that are coming up in the south of Malta as well as in the north of Malta. However, the first option is the renting of property. So anyone applying for the Malta Permanent Residence Program can either rent property in the south or rent property in the north. As you can see from the presentation, in the south, minimum is 10,000 euro. And in the north, there is a minimum capping of 12,000 euro. Now, nothing less than that. Many, when they apply, they would go for rent. And then eventually, if they decide to live and stay in Malta, they also go, or they want to invest, they also decide to proceed to purchase property. But as I said earlier, the options are both dependable on property. So you have option one, whereby there's, of course, as you can see on the screen, there are the fees, the Residency Malta fee, the government contribution, and there you have, once you are approved, you don't spend a shilling before you get approved, apart from the deposit on the application for government. But once you are approved, then you need to rent a property. And then there is a voluntary organization donation, and of course, Invest International fees. Give or take with the eligibility criteria, if one decides to rent property, the fees of approximately 145,000 euro, covering governmental fees, covering 1 year rent, and covering all the necessary fees. One must not forget the eligibility criteria. Anyone applying for the program must possess at least 500,000 euro in assets or in other liquidity. Option two. Option two is the purchasing of property. So if you will know, there's a reduction in government contribution because one has opted or decided to purchase property. And again, once an application is approved and the client receives the letter of approval in principle, one can either invest in the south of Malta, which is a property minimum of 300,000. There you're looking at a beautiful 2 to 3 bedroom apartment, a freehold, of course, so on and so forth. And then if one opts to go to the north of Malta, there is a minimum expenditure of 350,000 euro. And the same things apply. So both programs, both options depend on property. One has to decide whether to go for rent or whether to go for an outright purchase. We normally at immVest leave this at the discretion of the client. However, we always suggest that for the first year, even for the client to, to visit Malta, to cover the Maltese islands and to see the properties available, we always recommend the first year to go for rent. Then eventually you would have people, you would have clients who would opt to buy nice property here in Malta. So basically, when it comes to the Malta Permanent Residence Program, you have these two options. It provides permanent residency. One can decide to rent, one can decide to purchase. We leave it up to the client to make the decision. It normally takes between 5 to 6 or 7 to 8 months from the date of submission of the application to eventually to receive the residency cards. Of course, immVest International role is to continue to liaise with our clients or with our agents. We work very much hand in hand with B2B companies. In fact, we prefer to work on a B2B basis. Hence, we have very reputable and good partners. And we work together in terms of us liaising with the agency and the partners liaising with the end client. So, furthermore, now we talk about the benefits of the Residency to Citizenship program. I must stress that first it is residency, so no one will apply for citizenship immediately unless they already have the residency program or they had any other residency status. So the benefits of the Residency to Citizenship program, the Malta Citizenship program, and the benefits are significant. One would acquire, of course, European citizenship. It's considered as one of the most powerful passports in the world. Ability to travel in different countries, including the US, a very distinguished passport. We will see that there are two main options on how to apply for the Malta Citizenship program. There are 3 stages, and I will explain. Of course, minimum stay is required. One needs to have a connection with the Maltese Islands in order to apply for the Residency to Citizenship program. It has to be done, as I said earlier, through an accredited approved agent, and there is a capping of 400 applications per annum, a minimum of 1,500 over a period of 3 years. So, again, a very strict due diligence and background verification report sometimes is done. KYC and due diligence are done every time we receive an application. But sometimes, of course, we also outsource a background verification report. When we see that's high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals, they require, and we need a due diligence report. We hire a contractor, we hire a company that is focused on due diligence, and we run a background verification report. As I said, the due diligence in Malta is very, very rigorous because we want to ensure that only reputable and quality people, quality investors that are that have never committed a crime or anything, that are clean, completely clean, apply and subsequently, if approved, given the Malta citizenship. There are 2 options. There's the VIP, which is the option whereby you apply for citizenship after 12 months. And then there is the normal application, which is 36 months to apply for citizenship. Now, it's important I make mention that there are 3 stages in the Malta citizenship program. We are, of course, very experienced in the program. We have submitted a lot of applications, both for citizenship and as well for the residency program. And I always stress, especially when it comes to the client directly, I always stress that the client is open with us and he is comfortable divulging his source of wealth, his net worth, his source of funds, because that will make life easier. It's important that we provide all the correct information to the Community Malta agency that we are happy to declare our net worth, how we did our net, how did we achieve our net, either through investments, through company business, through employment, so on and so forth. The client must feel at ease with us to open up. If not with us, with our B2B partners. There are 3 stages in the VIP and the normal application. First is the residency stage, whereby the client is given residency status in Malta. So we ask the client to come over to Malta for biometrics, and after a month or two, the client is provided residency card. Then there is what we call the eligibility stage, which is basically where due diligence is performed. The team at Community Malta will review the application, will review the client's words, will review anything related to source of wealth, source of funds, and eventually, if approved, if they see that everything is okay, there were no findings, the client will be given the green light to proceed for the 3rd stage, which is basically the citizenship stage, where we at Invest International, after 12 months, we apply on behalf of the client to be considered for the citizenship approval. So 3 stages: residency stage, eligibility stage, and citizenship stage. It's a lot to take in, and of course, I'm always happy, either myself or any member of my team, to, of course, further explain the requirements. If we go ahead, we will see again the real estate option. The real estate is always very important, either for the permanent residence program or the residency to citizenship program. You will see, for example, there is an option whereby one can either, first and foremost, the option is when we say, what we're seeing on the screen now is the VIP option, whereby it's citizenship. It takes normally 12 months, and on the 12th month, we share we submit the citizenship application after the first 2 stages have been successful. There's a donation to government. One needs to decide whether to rent property or purchase property. So again, the real estate element, the property element, one has to decide whether there is no north and south in the residency to citizenship. So it's either one opts for the renting of property, or else one opts to purchase property. Minimum is 16,000 euro renting. And when it comes to purchasing, the minimum is 700,000 euro. Of course, we will see that there is a donation of 10K, application fee, government 50K, and there are also due diligence fees, our fees, and health insurance. We are looking at circa 1 million euro, depending on the number of applicants, and with the rent option, of course, not with the purchase option, to apply for the residency to citizenship Malta program. You will note in this presentation that the donation is 750,000 with the option of the VIP option of 12 months. The second option, when it comes to donation to government, it's cheaper. It's 150,000 cheaper. This is citizenship over a period, residency to citizenship over a period of 3 years. And the donation to government in the VIP one is 750,000. In the 36-month application, it is 600,000. Same applies. Option 2, there's an opportunity to either rent property or purchase property. So both programs requiring the real estate option. Of course, as I said earlier, we have another company which is called Invest Properties Limited, whereby we provide specifically property either locally or abroad with our partners, because we do other programs as well, not only the Malta programs. Property, which is within the eligibility requirements, the parameters of residency or citizenship by investment. So in case anyone applying for the programs wishes to rent or purchase a property, we have a company that is dedicated as well to providing the information and properties for the clients. Give or take, if one opts for the 36-month option, one is looking at an investment of approximately 900,000 euro. This is, of course, an approximate, and I'm not saying that is the real figure, depending, of course, on the number of applicants. From my side, I have been in the residency and citizenship by investment business since 2016. I'm not that old in the residency and because my background is more of in positions related to strategy and human resources management. But I fell for an offer which the government at the time has given me. Way back in 2016, I was the person, together with a very good group of people, because no man is an island in the world, whereby I have set up together with these people the Malta Residency Visa Agency. So between 2016 and 2019, I was the guy, promoting, selling, running across the globe, promoting the Maltese islands to offer the residency program. So that is basically it. Now in 2019, I have decided, after all the support to government, to set up my two companies, Invest International and Invest Properties Limited. Of course, a secret, I still provide leadership and management advice to foreign companies and local companies when it comes to setting up Malta, human resources people, so on and so forth. Well, that is actually all from me, Anastasia. I don't want to take the time of anyone else, of any other panelists. So thank you very much. And if you have any inquiries, anyone having any inquiries, I'll be happy to answer them.
Roderick, thank you very much. And your presentation was excellent. And guys, once I think we spoke on the same event, and Roderick is a brilliant speaker. And like listening to you, I felt a bit of nostalgia. I really miss Cyprus investment program. But nonetheless, Maltese program is excellent. And Roderick, we have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
There is a question from Francesca regarding the double tax treaty in Malta. Okay. The only thing, Francesca, if you're here, with what country you are asking the double tax treaty with what country? Because Malta has lots of double tax treaty.
And Anastasia, I'm not a tax expert, and I wouldn't want to reply to certain questions whereby I'm not sure about taxes. However, yes, Malta has a lot of double taxation relief programs, predominantly, I think, with various countries. However, if it's a question related to tax, what I can say is that our programs do not provide any tax benefits, but that is important to say. They're not tax-related programs. There is a program in Malta which provides tax benefits. It's called the Global Residency Program. But I suggest to Francesca, if she wants, she can write to me. I have no problem, and I will ask any of my partners in the tax business to provide her a reply. Because as you may appreciate, Anastasia, we work. We are not a solution to everything. We work. The cake is big, so I try to involve people in tax, to involve people in CSPs. So that's what I do normally.
My point is exactly the same, that you have to be expert in your own field. Roderick, even though you mentioned it during presentation, but this is the question that always comes up. And Irina is asking this question once again. Can you review very briefly what are the requirements for the physical presence?
Yes. That's a very, very good question. As all know, there is some pressure on the RCBI programs from the side of the European Union. So, we must ensure that all the due diligence and compliance and I wish this for all the guys, promoting Greece, Cyprus. I mean, we're all friends. We're all working together. This is our bread and butter. However, when it comes to citizenship, residency to citizenship, there is no specific compulsory number I can share. However, we always say that we want a connection between the applicant and the Maltese islands. We're always looking for 20 to 25, 30 days, if possible, stay in Malta. In fact, at application stage, Anastasia, we also submit a letter on behalf of the client, whereby, look, the client is going to spend his holidays in Malta, is coming to visit in Christmas. So there is a connection between the applicant and the Maltese islands. Nevertheless, there is no specific number compulsory by law where I can say to Rina or anyone is it's 15 days, it's 10 days, 5 days. What we say, however, to all our applicants from all over the world, we say that if you want to apply for the Malta Residency to Citizenship program, you must know that you must spend time in Malta. Maybe before it wasn't like that, maybe before it was that rigid, but now since the launch of the new program, even the government of Malta is insisting with us as accredited agents to make sure that our clients, Anastasia, do tell us the amount of time they will be spending in Malta.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. And I think it makes all the programs more viable. So yes. I think that as long as people know about it. We have another question from Vlad. And the question is, where is it possible to see an official register of accredited agents for the program?
That is very.
Sorry. And the other question, is it possible to apply directly to the government without any agent?
Let me start from the end. No, it's not possible to apply directly to the government, to the either Comunità Malta, which provides citizenship, or Residency Malta agency, which provides residency. It has to pass through accredited approved agents, for the simple reason that all accredited approved agents, they're all friends of mine. We work with everyone. I'm not here, of course, to belittle any of my colleagues. To the contrary, I praise their capabilities, because in management we always believe that we learn from the successes of others. We grow when we see a company growing, and we try to grow at that same as that company. The register is public. There is a list of accredited agents. One can go on the Comunità Malta website. He can Google Comunità Malta, Koumata. It's on my presentation. And there's a list of 80, I believe, something like that, accredited agents. So there is a list of accredited agents that is available, that is open, that is transparent, and anyone can decide, look, I want a quotation, I want to know the fees, and can send directly to the agent, and the agent, hopefully, like we do, they answer immediately.